Hello, good evening, Chuempala. Good evening, world. Good evening, Elias Munsha here on TV Bakwetu. And as usual, I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta, from the TV Bakwetu studios. Thank you very much for joining us. As usual, I'm not alone here because we do not do this alone. I have with me my co-host and co-presenter, Mr. Norman Chipakupaku from Scotland, who also goes by the name General. And we also have our resident pharmacist, Mr. Jerome Kanika, who is also a valuable member of our team. General, please welcome our people and let's get started today. You're muted.
Good evening, Chuempala. Good evening, Nakande. Nakande, because it's a special day in Nakande today. Good evening, our people in Isoka. Good evening, our people in Fulira. Good evening to the people in Kalabo. Good evening to the people in Zimba and Livingstone today. Good evening to my people in Sindamisale, where Kenneth Kaunda is. I'm sure he's listening to us. Musha, good afternoon to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's turning out to be extremely busy here at the office, but we have got to squeeze in a little bit of this. There is no way we can just ignore our first duty to our people. So even if it's busy here, we're going to be available. Isn't it, Bakanika?
Yeah, that's very true. Good evening, consumption. Good evening, General. I know today you said the pharmacist can, but today I want to be addressed as a pente because I need to address the pente. Yeah.
You've caught me completely off guard there. Atishani?
This is serious.
Today I'm a pente because I need to address the issue with the Kinzi Matako ya Mumpoto Madembe. That's the issue I need to address, where he has attacked my papa in the name of Joshua. So I need to respond as a son to the papa because I'm a pente. So I'm responding as a pente. So today, no need of pharmacy, but I'm a pente.
Now, we need to be clear here that Vapente, we have several versions of Vapente. Ine Amepente, who belongs to Grace Ministries Mission International. We are very good, clear, normal pentes. Number kwali baba pente ama papa. Ifwete baba papa. So imon mo baba papa Jerome.
You see, you should know very well that in our Pentecostal we have issues of commanders and all that. But in this, our commander, who's the prophet Joshua Ingram, has been attacked by a non-entity somewhere, so we need to respond as his children. So I'm responding as a children, as a pente, in short, so that we can be at the same level, because I cannot allow Kinzri Matako ya Mumpoto Malembe insulting or attacking my papa. So he has allowed us to go 2 years back, and I want also us to go 2 years back in his life, so that now we can meet at one point, so that him is talking about 2 years of what my papa did, and I want also to go 2 years on what he did himself, so that we can say that these people, they all did one and the same thing. The other one it balanced, the other one it didn't balance. So I need to address that. Please, forgive me for that today, but
Yes.
Musha, it looks like this week is a week of tantrums. Yesterday it was Musha. Today it's the Pentecostal. I'm just going to reserve my tantrum for this week, until we get it. So here we go. Here we go, Musha. Before the tantrum from the Pente, the Pente from Luansha, the day looks interesting. Tear gas again in Nakande.
Yeah.
Welcome in Isoka, the police try to stop HH and they fail. He continues because the people took over the convoy and just continued. Mr. President, the commander-in-chief tries to go to the north to try and stop the fire in the north, and he finds there's too much fire. He's back in the Copperbelt. Musha, what else do you think is happening?
I think these are the dying days of the Lungu administration. I think, you know what? Even if it were not the dying days of the Lungu administration, I think the way he is behaving is showing that it is his dying days of his administration. Because a person who is really not afraid and is sure that he has either rigged the election or that he has had some people rig on his behalf will not be behaving this way. And so his own behavior is betraying him, unfortunately. That's what I'm noticing. It is betraying him. Because if you are very secure about your own victory, you would not be throwing tear gas at your citizens in Nakande. It does not make sense. What did the people of Nakande do to deserve tear gas, to deserve to be dispersed? What wrong have they done? I don't think that is a fair way of handling these issues. And I think President Lungu is being betrayed by his own actions, and he could, in fact, be on his way out next week, unfortunately.
Yeah, Musha, those who are reading the Africa Confidential, I should nicely tell you, just ignore what Africa Confidential is saying. The truth is Mr. Lungu is going out, and he knows it.
No, but Africa Confidential General has said that it's fake news. They never issued any statement.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say, say that is fake news from PF. The Africa Confidential is produced from London. That's what I wanted to come to. Those who are reading that fake Africa Confidential report is not true. PF is very good at faking things. And I will not mention names of the people who are actually faking these things. And if they annoy me one day, I'll name them because I know them. I know the people who are producing these fake reports. The first poll, now the first Africa Confidential report. And ignore that Africa Confidential report. Why? Because it's fake. It's a fake report. The truth is Mr. Lungu is going out. Mr. Lungu is going out, and he knows he's going out. And that's why his people are very, very quiet. And our listeners, Jeremy, you are in Luansha. I think you've been seeing the demeanor of the policemen in Isoka and even where they were throwing tear gas in Nakande. You can tell that these policemen are being forced to do what they're doing. You can tell. They're just standing there. They don't know what to do. They know that what they are doing is wrong, but they have to do it because they've been ordered to do that. So what do you think, Jerome? Seeing those photographs and the videos and the message coming from HH to the Inspector General and to the Chief Electoral Officer, he sent a message on his Facebook page today, a voice note, which is public. I sent it to Mr. Inspector General Kangaja to say, this is the message from HH in case you have not got it, because he refused to answer his phone. So what do you think is happening? Before we come to your tantrum, Joram, what do you think is happening in the north?
General, I was just watching CNN, and it has also put HH to be the front runner, and it has also predicted that the HH is going to carry the day come next week. That also put in a lot of pressure in the PF camp, and you can see very well that there are a lot of they want to try by all means to disturb HH with the campaigns, but they don't know that the more they oppress the people, the more the people go to vote, the more they are going to have a protest vote from the members of the public, because in trying to oppress or stop HH from going to meet the people, they are tear gassing the innocent people. You see, instead of they are following one person, but they ended up tear gassing more than 1,000 people. You see, all those 1,000 people who were tear gassed, they felt very bad. And I can assure you, as they go to vote next week, they are going to remember the tear gas which they were tear gas today, and they are going to definitely vote against the Patriotic Front. So as much as they are trying to stop HH, they need to think about their strategy which they are using. When you are oppressing the people in nature, the human nature, it will try by all means to defend itself. And in this way, what the Zambian people will do is to revolt against the PF and vote for UPND. So whatever they are doing is just their time is up, and they just need to start packing. And if it's possible, wherever they are in the offices, they should just, cleaning up and wait for the new office bearers to come into office after next week. Whether people like it or not, it has shown. There is also another independent opinion polls that have come through from Ballot something, which
But
is still
Afrobarometer.
yes.
Afrobarometer.
Yes, it has also given President Hakainde Hichilema to be the front runner in the forthcoming general election. So these are some of the issues that are giving sleeplessness to the PF. Like they mentioned earlier here, General, what the PF failed to do, they failed to separate governance and politics. You see, so most of the civil servants, they are not going to vote for them, and most of the Zambian people. And I hope as we take over office next week as UPND, we are also going to differentiate between politics and also civil service. We need to have, like, we keep promising the people that our civil service will be chosen on merit basis. We need to have in that. And those who want to do politics, they should just remain in the party doing the politicking and letting the civil service execute the policies that will be developing as a political party. The PF missed that point. To them, they were, again, they didn't know where the political party should end and where the civil servants should also take over. To them, they wanted to do everything. As a result, they frustrated a lot of civil servants who supposed to execute their policies, which they were supposed to be making. And moreover, PF had a lot of issues of, what can I say, policy inconsistent. Today they make this policy, tomorrow they change, and just like that, as a result, civil servants had a tough time for them to execute the policies for the Patriotic Front, the party which was in government. As a result, they started thinking like civil servants are working against them. No, we have civil servants who started working the time of Kaunda. They also work in the time of Juba. They also worked in the time of Manawasa, in the time of Warapi, and in the time of that now Edgar. So these civil servants, they are just loyal to the government of the day.
Okay, Jeremy, we've just been joined by Simbea from Isoka, and I wanted him to update our viewers, but there is a feedback. I would suggest, Jeremy, you mute yourself. And let's go to Simbea Jairo, who's, I think, in Isoka, and you just update our viewers of what has happened. Simbea, are you able to hear us? Hi, Simbea Jairo, are you able to hear us?
All right, I don't know whether you can hear me there, General. I really appreciate you, Jeremy Kanika, and the host, Alas Musha.
Yeah. So can you update our viewers what happened in Isoka today?
For having me. So I'm in Isoka right now as I speak with you. We have escorted the president. He proceeded to Nakande. I had to remain behind to continue with our campaigns here in Isoka. We had a wonderful visit. Our P1 visited us in Isoka here. The visit was so wonderful. I think he came at the right time. People were excited, although it was a short notice. As you know, he was supposed to go to Wapula. Rashida Sila had to go ahead of him. He had to make a U-turn, come through to...
Yeah, we're having a problem, Jairo. Yeah. Okay, so in Isoka there was no tear gas. Am I right?
We were almost tear gassed. I think we managed to convince. You know, our boss HH is a great negotiator. We had the same situation like what happened in Chipata. He had to speak to the officers. He negotiated his way out again. It was almost like two tier. They threw two tear gas, but it never changed anything. We carried on with the road shows. I think everything was good.
In what happened in Nakande, Jairo? What happened in Nakande?
We escorted our president up.
Okay.
It was the same situation. What happened was after he left Isoka.
We have a problem. We have a problem. Jairo, can you mute yourself? Jairo, can you mute yourself? I can see that I've got Movita now online. Just mute yourself, and can you just mute yourself? Now, good evening and welcome to ZambiaVotes2021. Are you able to hear me? Okay, Jeremy, and our viewers, Jairo's line is very, very bad from Isoka. I think we will be joined by Nawa so that he is with the president, so that we hear what's really happened in Nakande. But this evening as well, we are also expecting two candidates, one from Petauke Central, Mr. Simbe, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. We will also be joined by two candidates, one from Lusaka Central, Mr. Mulambo Haimbe, and Mr. Samson Piri from Petauke Central. Now, Jeremy, we wanted to hear from the team which is with the president before I give you the chance to go on your rant. Is it okay for me to hear from what has happened to the president? And I know that he's safe. We know that he's in Nakande somewhere. We also know that Mr. Ed Kalungu is back in the Copperbelt. Which town is he visiting tonight in the Copperbelt?
I don't know, but what I saw, he was in Ndola, so he should be heading to Kitwe. But we wait to see the program tomorrow on where he will be. We'll definitely be able to know, as I don't know exactly where, but as of today, I saw people receiving him at the airport in Ndola. Okay,
because it looks like the reports we are getting is that all the PF big guns have decided they are going to go to the north. It's like they want to go and defend their bedrooms, Chipindas. Everybody's in the north. GBM is in the north. CK is in the north. Everybody's there. The UPND team, they're also focusing on the north, but they're spread all over as well, because I saw that Gary Kombo was back in his constituency. The Western province has been beefed up, but it looks like the whole campaign is shifting to the north. And our viewers, we said yesterday that HH is not allowed to fly, so they stopped him from flying yesterday, so he can't fly, but he is trying to head into the north. And this is where it's going to be very, very, very interesting. Now, we hope we can get Mobita back so that he can update us before we move on to your story, Jeremy. Or probably let's wait for Mobita. While we're waiting for Mobita, what is wrong? What has happened to you and your papa and this young man who's supposed to go to night school? What do you call him? Kings again? What is the story?
Yeah, General, that's the Kinzi Matako ya Mumpoto, Marembe. So it's not just Kinzi. It's Kinzi Matako ya Mumpoto.
What is that name? Where is that name from now?
It's a song we did, General. I'm just getting the song we did. Mpoto ya Matako ya Mumpoto. So I'm just putting it on his name to say Kinzi. Oh,
yeah, just a minute, Jeremy. Just we'll come to that Matako ya Mpoto, whatever it means. We have Mobita now live from I think from Nakande somewhere, because I know now doesn't normally disclose where it is for security reasons. Now, good evening and welcome to TV Wakwetu. Are you able to hear us? Hi, Nawa. Hi, Mobita Nawa. Are you able to hear us?
Good evening, Uncle Norman. Good evening, everybody. How are you?
I'm fine. You are live at TV Bakwetu. We are live now. Can you just tell us, our viewers want to know what happened today, and we know where the president is. Can you just update us what happened in Isoka and Nakande?
First of all, TV Wakwetu, thank you for having me on the air, and we just want to appreciate everything that you're doing towards democracy, towards the emancipation of our country. Obviously, as you may know, from the time the President Hakainde Hichilema, declared interest in running for president of Zambia, there have been so many people who have not been very welcoming of his intentions, especially from the ruling party. And so every state asset that has been utilized, from his helicopter license not being approved to police blocking him, or you name it, it's just been very, very difficult. But because of his determination and pursuit of justice and equity, he's obviously been on a marathon. When the rallies were cancelled because of the successful Kanyama Mandevu rallies, he went ahead and did the mask distribution. So today, it's been the case everywhere we've been going. So today, when entering Nakande, it was no different. Just like it happened in Mfuwe, just like it has been happening in many other cities, Nakande was particularly more aggressive than other cities. And so the president was blocked, his motorcade was blocked. And the method is it always seems like they want to separate the president to almost create a cascade.
Oh, sorry, our viewers. Now is in the north, so the communications looks very, very bad tonight. But he's going to come back. And I can see that also we have our candidate for Petauke Central, Mr. Samson Piri. Mr. Samson Piri, if you're listening to us, just stand by, keep your mic on the mute. We have now coming back so that we get an update on that. So I think viewers, you heard what happened. That they are trying to separate HH from the audience. I was monitoring the whole thing. So the police move into the crowds and they try and separate HH from the rest of the supporters. Now, are you still able to hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry about the network. By the way, we are just outside Mbala right now. We are about to enter Mbala. We can literally see Mbala, but again, we've been blocked by the police right now as I speak to you. We are literally blocked from entering Mbala right now.
Wow. So first of all, welcome. Can you keep your microphone muted, please, until we finish with Mr. Nawa? So now, what is really happening in the north, in Isoka, in Nakande, in Serenje, where you were yesterday? What is the situation? Because it looks like this fight is now moving to the north. What is really happening?
I didn't hear your question properly, Uncle Norman, but I think you must be asking about what is. Just kindly repeat. I think I heard only the last part.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, what is the situation? Because it looks this campaign for PF and UPND is shifting to the north. the vice president of UPND is in the north. Now HH is in the north. What is really happening?
Thank you. As you may remember, the president, Hakainde Hichilema, was about to go into Luapula, as you may remember, less than 48 hours ago. And the situation on the ground in Luapula was not okay. He was stopped from going into Luapula. There were helicopters. There were all kinds of situations in Luapula. So being the determined leader that he was and still is, he went up to Muchinga and he's making his own path. We have to remember that according to the Bill of Rights of Zambia, any citizen of Zambia can go to any place in Zambia, has freedom of movement, freedom of association, and freedom of collaboration, as long as they are not in violation of the Constitution of Zambia. And President Hakainde has a right to move. In particular, because this is an election year, he has even a bigger right. The situation as it stands right now is we are going to enter Mbala. And the president will keep informing us of his agenda in terms of where he wants to go, who he wants to meet, where he wants to distribute COVID relief or masks. It is his right and his prerogative. We are cognizant of the fact that this year's election is very unique because there are different rules for the UPND and different rules for the Patriotic Front. But we understand, like Frank Sinatra once said, the greatest revenge is massive success. And we believe that August 12th, 2021 will deliver massive success for our democracy, for our people, and for the Zambian community that so desperately needs a change of leadership.
Now, Bonawa, Monaka, I think I can address you as Monaka, Masiros. What is the reason given by the police for stopping HH?
If you saw the clip in Chipata, when the president was entering Chipata, I was on the other side of Chipata being tear gassed, by the way. The president literally asked the police and says, "What law have I broken?" And the police have no reason other than for us to speculate that the police are also being used against their own will, in my personal view. And the president was able to negotiate his way into Nakande today. But owing to the volatility...
I'm sorry, our viewers, we have, as you are aware, Mobita is very, very close to Mbala. Jeremy, what do you think is happening? You've heard from Mobita now.
You see, General, just like I mentioned, to say today CNN was just reporting to say Hakainde Hichilema is going to win the next week elections because of what has been happening and what the operations the PF has put on us, the Zambian people. And what we want to do now is to fight for our freedom and revolt against the PF. You see, we have a silent revolution which is happening currently because of the oppression of the PF. If they didn't oppress the citizens, they would have known that there is seriously a revolution which was happening, but they couldn't know because they oppressed anyone who talks against them. Now this is what is happening. Wherever now HH goes, is receiving massive support. And now Zambia is a stronghold for Hakainde Hichilema. And me, I said even yesterday, and I keep saying it, to say the only stronghold for PF is Southern Province. But now, again, on Southern Province, Cambridge has insulted the people of Southern Province. So now, they have no stronghold, in short.
Well, that is very sad. And it's really, really sad that Mobita line, I think our viewers would understand, is in Ballot. Mobita, are you able to hear us now?
Yes, but I must go now. We have to move. There's a movement in front and the convoy must move now.
Okay.
But I can assure you that we shall enter Mbala. The president is determined to tour this nation. It's his responsibility and no one will stop us. And we all know that every dying horse has last kicks. And this is exactly what is happening. And to the people of Zambia, I say to you, let us be strong, let us be resolute. And in order to kick these people out of power on August 12th, each one of us must fight. I can't keep going on now, Uncle Norman. I must run because the convoy has started to move and I need to go and do one or two things. But thank you for having me, TV Vakwetu, and God bless.
No, we want to thank you, Bombita, for updating us, and we please pass the message to the president that we wish him the best and tell him to be strong, because this is for Zambia. It's not for HH. It's for Zambia. So from TV Vakwetu, we wish you all the best. Keep safe, but remember, we are fighting for Zambia. We are not fighting for anything but for Zambia. So we wish you all the best and safe driving, please.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Nisha. Okay, Jeremy, before we bring, the police are trying to stop HH wherever it goes. And they have no excuse at all, our viewers. The reason is that they just don't want him to go anywhere. So before we bring in our MP for our candidate for Petauke Central, Jerome, I want you to get to do your rant, because when we come to the MP, the candidate for Petauke, I don't want you to be having Ichikongo for your rant. So I want you to rant now about this Malembe, whatever you call it. What is it? What is the problem? Before we bring in Mr. Samson Piri from Petauke.
General, let me use the Bemba so that Malembe bomfwe kailo fo bondomfo ako. Malembe vacha lero ku social media. Vakinzi matako ya mumpoto Malembe vacha ku social media lero. Vayonkuwe bati va pastor vesu va Joshua Ingram vari straight divorce 2 years ago, then vari commit adultery, then vaya no kupanga prophecy pari my elections ya Zambia. But general tuirava naifo yapa 2 years ago vakinzi vari admitted Mundora Central Hospital ati na vanwa umutototo. You know general umutototo?
No, what's that?
Umutototo general ni ya unurio mutitubomvya traditionally actually nkofisha abaume so that I want to use Bemba shifungula bomvya chisungu. I want vakinzi bomvu. So that
okay, go ahead. Go ahead. What I want you to do is finish up so that we bring in our candidate. Mr. Samson Piri, can you mute yourself, please? Make sure that you're muted until I bring you in. Keep yourself mute. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
General,
go ahead.
If in the land, 10 in the land, 9 na verengere fief. 2 years ago, vakinzi na vena vari no mtototo, oyo mtoto after vanwa, basa kwataka election, ya kuti ati vafirwa na vena nkushita control, and vava admitted Mundora Central Hospital.
What?
And he stayed there for.
Go ahead. Yeah. Because this is shocking.
The same period of time bachichanda na vena vari kwetena mano ya moyene nabo varefwaya vano uri mutototo vasenda ka gero whatever vena chafauka ekuya isanga vene muisa hospital tuamba nokubachita treat hospital mulya so that vave bwino and vari keremo 2 days hospital teine nderande if you nderande fintu ndeve nachira virenga ya social media nomba ngamwamona vakinzire amatako ya mumpoto bushen difference in shipo na vena lero navabuka vapanga na prophecy ati yo pa 15 August 3/4 celebration and whatever thing nabo bafune muli adult mentality vaisonkutu vati na ife tuchitenshi tupange prophecy because vena valile vanwa after vanwa mutototo after vanwa mutototo ubwamba bwaima after bwaima vafirwa nombo nkuchita control vavutukira kuchipatara kulya oko vaire bachitishenshi oko baire bacontroller after baba controller bakinziri ekufuma bafumini because bari from kusanga na mayo wakuti venda burungana akuti na ulio muti ubombe bwino akodini echa chitike 2 years ako tenenderanda jenu nena rundura fyo mchibembo funa chilaverenga vintu ifi fyatike 2 years ago bachilalandapo atiyo bapasta babalista divorce balista divorce no balista committee adultery balista ine committee adultery balista professor pali Zambia why velala bana benati bali no mutototo wabemye okwamba after wabemye ananikane yabo bafuna kuchita control bafuna kufaka na mayo tonzo twana tuna mayo twakana atiyo ife bakinzire awe tekrasi yesu baya twaya baya hospital oko baire bemisha teine nderande vintu vili mu social media vintu na ine msangire fena sa kumanyati kanshi bakinzi na bopo batire 2 years bali nwinya kwa kamutoto tweshinali abuti ati ngani spider whatever after banwa babuka the following after batana kan baisa no kupontera aba pangire kila chintu kwena fili bakinzi nomba General, I want to address as a Pentecostal now, as a Pente. Ama members ba PF, aba mbirong panga celebrated. No, pastor best batch under the HH is a son.
Oh, Jeremy, this is terrible. This is awful. You have gone off when we wanted to hear the story. But
hello, are you
go
getting
ahead, please. But let's some everybody's laughing on the Facebook page. So what was the result when you went to the hospital? What happened?
General, kuya hospital koya. If in there and if general, naine na checking after teine ndera ndeyo. Awe naine nde bachita remind if I ticket 2 years back in there at basaru bapono kuruba general. Hospital kwa kwari nkubata treat ati. Bachite treat so that the blood flow ile kionku flow akuja kumani odu yabo kubwamba yambi onchita flow nkuya ku brain because yasali kon flow ku brain yambo onchita flow akuja ero bakwata nkuyima kwa bamba kwa nombe futrepunda awe kwena if wenga mwali chitike ife bakinziri why are you trying to afford your friend here weo imoto anakashitwali kana timote timulale na ifwe pamtu imwete krasi yesu mwachitali out mwaya isanga na ku Ndola Central Hospital so ifyo fyene fitenenderanda jeno ifitenenderanda enendere mbafyo mnabika fyo muchibemba jeno bakinzi matako ya mpoto marembe teinenderanda vintu varechita nomba jeno vile nachiraranda pali baso they should know and understand how the issue of Saul came in. God appointed Saul to come and establish a kingdom for David to come and take over. So in short, by the way it is in Zambia, we are in disarray. Nothing is happening. Now God has appointed a Saul to come and establish a kingdom in Zambia, to come and put all the fundamentals together so that a David can come and take over and take Zambia to the land of prosperity. Well, a Saul has put in fundamentals to make the country run the way it's supposed to be run. Currently, everything is bizarre in Zambia. But according to the biblical, where the PF was celebrating, no, this prophet is covering us. No, they should understand what role did Saul play in terms of Bible. They should not just come and conclude the last part of Saul. No, when did Saul came into office? What happened? Why God appointed Saul? There was no one to lead the Israelites. And from there, God appointed Saul, and Saul established the kingdom. And after he established the kingdom, then David came in to reach them to the land of prosperity. And this is the situation which is happening to Zambia.
Okay, Jeremy, this total story and the king has made all our viewers laugh, all of them, and it's serious. So I think let's move on. You guys, you and Munsha, yesterday it was Munsha on a rant. Today it's you. So wait for my rant as well. Now let's move to the most serious thing. To our viewers, forget about this man and this Mtoto thing. We have something more serious than the Mtoto thing. It's our country, okay? So he can use as much Mtoto, whatever you call it, as much as he wants. It's up to him, as long as he doesn't misuse our hospitals, because our hospitals, they're supposed to be treating COVID now. So let's address the issue, the elephant in the room. A lot of people want to know where HH is. He is heading to Mbala tonight. He's safe. He was tear gassed in Nakande, but he's safe. In case you missed Mubita now, a few minutes ago, he confirmed that they were tear gassed in Nakande. I was watching it live. The police were just standing there. They didn't know what to do. They were just throwing tear gas. So let's move on, Jeremy. We have got a serious man in Petauke Central, Mr. Samson Piri. Piri, can you unmute yourself, sir? Are you able to hear us loud and clear?
Yes, I've just done that. Yes, I've just done that, Norman.
Okay, you've heard that the president is in Mbala. He has been tear gassed, and you've yes. Also heard the rant of the night, the Mtoto story from the Copperbelt. So now we want to hear about your story. You are the candidate for the UPND candidate for Petauke Central. Am I right?
Yes, Norman, I am.
At school, we will speak in.
Norman, unfortunately, the audio, I don't know if it's from your side, it's breaking. I can't get you clearly. I don't know if you can get me clearly.
Yes, you are loud and clear. You're loud and clear. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, but from your side, it's breaking. It's breaking. I can't hear you clearly.
Okay. Jeremy, can you mute yourself?
Even the picture is a bit distorted, Norman.
Okay, Jeremy, can you try and mute yourself? Are you able to hear me better now?
Yes, it's better. It's better.
Okay,
definitely.
Thank you so much. So I was saying, yes. Mr. Samson Piri, you are the UPND yes. candidate. You are the UPND candidate in Petauke Central.
Yes.
Yes. Who is Mr. Samson Piri? Briefly, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Norman, and good evening, and thank you for having me on this program. Samson Piri is a Zambian citizen, born and bred in Petauke Central. I went to school there. I attended primary school there, and I went to Petauke Secondary School, which is now called Petauke Boarding School. And then I went on to college to become a teacher of mathematics. And then I went on to further my studies with the University of Zambia. And then I worked in a few schools in Zambia. I worked at Luangwa Boys. I was a pioneer in Lusaka of Olympia Basic School. And then I moved to Botswana. I went to teach in Botswana in the secondary schools there. So I worked in Botswana for many years, almost 15 years. And then I worked in South Africa briefly. And then the last 6 years I've spent in Kenya, Nairobi. So basically I'm a service person. I like to work with students, communities, and the general public. I am very active in community work, things to do with community mobilization, raising funds, creating awareness, and basically good governance as well.
Okay, thank you so
now
much.
I'm back in. Yes.
Thank you so much, Samson. You are a Petauke born person. So muchira viranga ko chinsenga choncho school.
Yeah, if you could repeat that, Norman, there was a break again. I couldn't hear you clearly.
I was saying that you are a Petauke born person. So which means mura viranga ko chinsenga.
Yes,
Mura viranga ko chinsenga.
ngakove nie chakwasu nie kwativyalukira nie chatipunzira chitundu cha mama.
Ziko Maskuru. So on this
Yeah.
program, we normally allow you to speak your language. I will ask a few questions, and my friend Jeremy, who's in Luancha, will also ask his own questions, because every time when I ask questions, our viewers say, no, man, can you give the chance to other people? So first of all, can you who's standing on the UPN on the PF ticket?
Yes, I think many people must know who the candidate for PF is. I think it's somebody who has been there for many years. It's a lady by the name of Dora Silia. That's the lady who is contesting on the PF ticket.
Okay. Do you have any independents?
Of course, we do have, I think we have one independent. He's a gentleman called JJ, or Emmanuel Banda.
Oh, that's the troublesome JJ. Is that so? The one who went to the police station in Lusaka. Okay, so Mr. Piri, what is the situation with the Petauke Central, and how many wards have you got?
Right. The situation in Petauke Central, Norman, is very, very encouraging, because the message we are getting from the people, I have been to all the wards, almost all the villages, all the polling stations in the past 3 months that we've been allowed to interact with the people. You know, it's been very difficult. Every time I went to Petauke, when I tried to meet with the people, tried to mobilize the party and so on, I was always stopped. I was always told not to do that, and I was sort of threatened, if I may put it that way. So it was a question of sort of trying to meet with the people, but not in a free way. We were holding dark corner meetings, if I may put it that way. Yeah, but it's okay. We've got, it's now better, I must say that. We've got 8 wards in the constituency. And by the way, we have the highest number of registered voters in Eastern Province.
What's the number of the voters? What's the number of the voters?
Yeah, yes. I've been getting a number of about 70,000 registered voters, but officially I've gone through all the registers, and I'm now at 68,300 registered
68,000.
302. Yeah, 68,302.
Okay, I think I'll give a chance to my friend Jeremy. Jeremy, if you've got any 1 to 2 questions, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, thank you, General, and it's nice to have you here, Mr. Samson Piri, and our incoming member of Parliament for Petauke. I know very well that the people of Petauke, their mainstay lifestyle is about agriculture. What are you planning as you go to Parliament for the people of Petauke in terms of agriculture and health? What are your plans?
Thank you, Jerome. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yes, you are very right, Jerome. The mainstay of Petauke Central is agriculture. The people depend on agriculture. And so we need to do something as quickly as possible. As quickly as we move into government, we have to make sure that we make agriculture viable for the people of Petauke Central constituency. And one way we can do that is we welcome the move by our president, Hakainde Hichilema, who has promised that immediately he goes into government, into office, the price of fertilizer is going to reduce. to 250 kwacha per park. All right, for those that have cooperatives registered. And this will give them 8 bags of fertilizer, 4 bags base or dressing and 4 bags for top dressing. I think this is a very, very, very big boost to agriculture in Petauke. And when we give them this message, I can assure you the people are happy and they are enthusiastic and they're saying this is really going to boost their agriculture, their output in agriculture. And then the next thing we are doing is we are encouraging the people of Petauke to diversify their agriculture, not just to focus on one crop, which at the moment is mostly maize. Okay, most of the people are producing maize, which is fine because maize, as you know, is our staple food. But now we want to encourage the people to go into other crops, other cash crops, so that we have a variety of crops as well as sources of income. So we want people to grow tobacco on a larger scale, cotton on a larger scale, groundnuts on a larger scale, and even cassava. And another product that is in Petauke that has potential to bring money to Petauke is sugarcane. Sugarcane. There are a lot of streams with water throughout the year in Petauke, and sugarcane does very well. So if that can be expanded, you can imagine the potential of what sugarcane can bring economically. Yeah, so diversification, going into other cash crops other than maize.
Okay.
Yeah, you also talked about health, right?
Yes.
Yes. So in terms of health, yes, Petauke so far has got only 3 hospitals. All right. The general hospital, which was built soon after independence, and then there's a mission hospital at Minga. All right. And then, of course, there's this new hospital that has been built in Petauke, which is a big building, but unfortunately, it has become a very unpopular place in Petauke today because of the coronavirus. The people believe that if you are taken to Kawere Hospital, your chances of coming back alive are almost nothing, non-existent. So you see, that's the situation. Then with the health centers, there are a few health centers spread here and there, all right? But it's not good enough. The buildings themselves are pathetic. They are not the kind of buildings that you would expect in a constituency like Petauke, where people need to receive health services. Imagine in most of these clinics, the maternity where ladies actually give birth is in the same room as where the clinician, the person who gives the medicine actually works from. So it's within there. So there would be patients receiving attention from the medical assistant. At the same time, there would be a lady, in labor just next to them. It's pathetic. And most of the health facilities, the clinics, they do not have proper equipment, electricity, and water. So we really need to look at that and see what we can do to uplift the standards of the clinics, especially to provide separate maternity facilities for these clinics, so that we restore the dignity of the people in Petauke.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeremy, for those
And of
questions.
course, we have to make sure that medicines are provided.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Drugs in this clinic.
Yeah, my last question is, we have seen there is a lot that need to be done, especially in terms of education sector, especially to the pupils in Petauke.
Yes, yes.
And the PF government have removed one sponsorship or what we call or meal allowance for the students who are coming from who are joining the universities on the government sponsorship called bursary.
Jerome,
Then
your audio is
Jeremy,
breaking
the
a
other
little bit.
you're breaking off,
thing
Jeremy. You're breaking off, Jeremy.
Yeah.
is
Just mute yourself and just for a
I
minute,
want to
please.
know
You're breaking
also,
off.
I can see from what you're saying, they'll give you.
Jeremy, you are breaking off.
Are you
breaking
getting
off,
me?
Jeremy.
Still, I'm still breaking.
No, it's breaking. It's breaking.
Oh,
Okay, can you just mute yourself? Thank you so much, Jeremy. Mr. Piri, Petauke is known for its agriculture. I'll follow up on that question of agriculture. Because I know Petauke. You know that I know Petauke. The biggest crop you used to grow in Petauke was groundnuts for exports. Petauke Cooperative Union was the biggest cooperative union in Eastern Province. What are your plans to revive that plant and start exporting groundnuts again from Petauke?
Thank you so much, Norman. The plan is big. We need to revive the cooperative movement in Petauke specifically, but in the Eastern Province generally. As you know, as you put it, the Eastern Cooperative Union was one of the most successful cooperatives in the country. So I don't see why we should sit back and do nothing about it. We need to revive it. We need to make sure that the cooperative union starts to operate again, just like it was operating before. So we need to encourage stakeholders to come in as soon as possible. As soon as we take over government, we need to all the stakeholders into this cooperative movement and then get it moving as quickly as we can. And besides that, the cooperative movement, apart from agriculture, apart from groundnuts, maize, and other things, we need to extend the concept of the cooperative movement to other sectors of the economy within Petauke. You see, for example, the real estate industry, okay, the transport industry, and many other small businesses can actually emulate the cooperative concept so that people begin to create big commercial organizations in the form of cooperatives that create employment for the people, that create jobs, that create economic activity in the shortest possible time.
So at the moment, Mr. Piri, who are the major employers? Who are the major employers? Do you have big industry? Because I remember very well in Petauke, they used to have a big processing plant for the groundnuts. What is the major, who's the major employer in Petauke now?
Unfortunately, Norman, there is no major employer in Petauke at the moment. Apart from the government departments like the district council, then maybe ZESCO, a few milling companies here and there, and that's it. You see, okay, there's a cotton company that buys cotton and maybe tries to process it, but it's a very small company. So basically, the people of Petauke are surviving on subsistence farming, hand to mouth. There are no jobs, and of course, people selling on the streets in the marketplace, and that's it. So we really need to bring back the industry to Petauke. There is the Food Reserve Agency, DEPO, right? You remember it used to be run by ECU, the Eastern Cooperative Union. Now we have the FRA. It's just a backyard sort of what would I call it? A depot where they bring in the maize, the bags of maize, and then it's transported to Lusaka. Again, apparently there are a lot of what I can say flaws in the marketing of this maize. It's not well accounted for. The maize would come from the villages, from the outlying areas onto that yard, but then some truckloads are here, leave that place and go elsewhere. They do not end up at the main depot in Lusaka. So there's a bit of dishonesty in the marketing process of maize.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll come to your area of specialization, which is education. But before I do that, I want you to expand about this hospital, this big, huge, big elephant, which was built there, and it's called, what is the name of that big hospital, and what is happening in that hospital?
Okay. The hospital, Norman, is called Kawere Hospital. Apparently, it was a joint venture by the Southern African countries as a sort of cancer center for Southern Africa. But then, at the moment, what is happening is that it's an isolated place. People are really scared to go to that hospital because of the history. People believe, and it is true, it's happening. When you go to Kawere Hospital for an ailment like sneezing and the high temperature and so on, then they admit you there and you are declared to have coronavirus, and within 2 to 3 days, you are gone. So people are really scared to go to that hospital, I can assure you. Ask anybody from Petauke Central, people from the villages, if they are told to go to Kawere Hospital, they refuse. They don't want to go there. So it's a dilemma.
Is it well equipped?
Well, in terms of a few machines here and there, like scanning and maybe X-ray and so on, yes, but the major problem again is that of drugs. There are no drugs. People have to buy. Every time you go there, I actually went there for some medications. There are some medications that I needed. I went there, I saw the pharmacist, and I was told they didn't have those drugs. So,
but you didn't catch COVID, did you?
Well, luckily I didn't. I didn't. I was masked. I was masked, and I'm happy that I didn't catch COVID. But the cases in Petauke, to be honest with you, are high. They're going up. Yeah, because there's not been much of awareness. People have not been made aware of this disease, and then of course the enforcement of the regulations, COVID regulations has not been strict. So it's spreading, although I would say a bit of stability has come in now because people have started to mask up after a few deaths here and there. Actually, the epicenter of the COVID in Petauke was Minga Hospital, Minga Mission Hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently, there were some few. Yes.
Let's go to your area of specialization, education.
Yes.
The most interesting school there was Petauke boarding school. Has the government built new boarding schools, new secondary schools, new schools? What is the condition of this new school?
No. Well, Norman, let me start with Petauke boarding school itself. It's the oldest secondary school in Petauke Central. I went back there. I've been there several times in the past. Every time I visited Petauke. Unfortunately, it's very disappointing to find that the facility is degenerating. It's going down when it's actually supposed to be, to be improved and to be better than what it was when we were there. And then talking about other schools, I'm thinking about one or two schools that have been built ever since. All right. But then the conditions in these schools are also pathetic. You see, one, the classrooms are overcrowded. There's no furniture for the students in most of the classrooms, and the teachers are not motivated enough because of housing problems. There are serious problems of housing in most of these schools. And then another thing, Norman, there's a school in Petauke Central in Chilimanyama Ward, right at the village where President Lungu originates from. This is a technical school. I think it was built under the technical schools program, like a few other schools in Zambia. Yeah. Now, the interesting part about this school is that none, if any, of the local children do attend this school. It is a good facility. It is built recently, but none of the local students or children from Petauke Central are able to attend this school because it is very expensive for the Zambian standards, for the Petauke standards.
Is it a government school or a private school?
Yes, it is. It is a government school. It is a government school. It's a technical school, and it's named Edgar Chagwalungu Technical School.
And the local people can't afford it.
When you look at this, no, they can't, because it's 5,500 kwacha per term, and you see what that means for people in Petauke. You know, they cannot afford that much. So all the students attending this school come from Lusaka, Copperbelt, and so on. So the people are very disappointed with this school. So we were saying we have to change this. This facility has to benefit the people of Petauke Central. So we have to do something so that it's accessible to the community in Petauke Central. I mean, what's the use of having a school in our constituency, but our constituents cannot attend the school?
Okay, I will ask the last question, and then I'll bring Jeremy to ask one or two questions, and then we'll make an appeal. Our appeal will be, what would you need if anybody wants to support you? What would they want? What would you need? So my last question is, what is the energy situation in terms of energy in your constituency?
Okay, thank you very much, Norman. Again, a very distressing situation. There's a serious problem of deforestation in Petauke, Norman, and it's a worry. It's a big worry on my part, because all around the constituency and the district, people are cutting down trees to burn charcoal. You understand? So it has become the main source of energy in Petauke, and at the expense of the environment. It's all smoke. I mean, you drive along the road, you can see smoke on the hills and plains of Petauke. This is really, really, really serious. I think if people want to prove this, they can go on Google Maps and check. Go to Petauke and check the vegetation, the way it is. It's getting really, really stressed. And then, of course, we have electricity, which is, I think, drawn from somewhere in Mukushi. There's power from Mukushi. But then...
Is it not coming from Musoro?
Yes. There's another line coming from Musoro, yes. So, again, it's not 100% reliable. There are usually power cuts, every now and then. And then we need to improve that, because we need to bring Petauke, we need to bring sufficient energy to Petauke in terms of electricity, so that people stop relying on charcoal, which is destroying our forests. And then another thing that is a distress for the people of Petauke, there's always a shortage of diesel and petrol in Petauke. There are 3 filling stations in Petauke, but they are not well coordinated in terms of supply of diesel and petrol. So you find every day people are making long queues at the filling stations. I mean, I don't get it. How can we have a situation like that? How can we grow our economy if we have to wait on the line to buy 10 liters of diesel for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then a whole day or two will pass by without diesel or petrol in the town? So these are the things that we really need to look at immediately, so that we get the economy moving, we get the economy up and running as quickly as possible.
Okay, the issue of solar energy as an alternative or a better mix.
Yes.
And I'm sure you are aware that the UPND policy is to have 100 megawatts of solar for each province.
Yes.
Do you think solar would be the answer to Petauke Central?
Oh, yes. A big solution to the problem of power in Petauke. In fact, we are telling the people that immediately we come into office in August next week, one of the things that we are looking at is improving power supply through solar energy. And solar energy will also be used to pump water. You know, the boreholes. There are so many boreholes dotted around Petauke in the villages, but these boreholes are not working. All right? Because they've broken down. You know, the pumps, those things that they have to pump water, you know, the boreholes. So I think we need to bring in solar power, build or rather drill bigger boreholes, and then also encourage that we have tanks, you know, big tanks, and then supply water to the villages through pipes. You know, give them piped water. Why not?
Thank you. So let's have the last question from Jeremy, then we can wind up.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, General. Are you getting me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay, mine now, General, I think what I wanted to ask, I've been asked, and I can see there is a vision in the way Mr. Piri is talking. And my appeal, General, to Mr. Piri is he should tell the people of Petauke that this PF government made them consume substandard or expired medicines, and they have not been compensated for consuming expired medicine. Those medicines are distributed even in Petauke. Please emphasize to the people of Petauke to say you consumed the medicine that are fake. No wonder mlelwalila kidney failure, liver, and other conditions. Please, thank you.
Thank you, Jerome. I'm happy that you brought up that issue. We've actually talked to the people, but we are still going to talk to them. We are still going to remind them about these expired drugs. And they really agree with us because they've experienced it. You take drugs, but you don't get better. So it simply proves that the drugs are expired. Yeah.
There is a comment here, Mr. Piri, from Mwanta Wasabala Nakulu. She says, please remove Doris Leah. She must be shameful of herself as a woman. She couldn't make a difference to the lives of women in Petauke. That's one comment which I've got. I don't have any questions, really. So, finally,
yes,
Samson Piri, Mr. Piri.
Yes.
We know that next week there's a chance of you beating Dora and JJ.
Yes.
Because the vote is going to be split.
Yes.
From the information we hear, is that actually it's a race between you and JJ?
Yes.
That's the information we're getting. Now, how can our viewers, how can people like me at school, if we're to help you in the next 9 days, what would you need? What would you need to get your campaign to the finishing line so that UPND wins the Petauke Central? Because I know Petauke Central is a very, very crucial seat in the Eastern Province, just like Chipata Central. And at the same time, in terms of agriculture, That constituency is very, very important. What would you need? What would be your appeal? If I say to you, I'm giving you 2 minutes to make an appeal to our viewers. On you go, sir.
Thank you, Norman. Actually, I am very thankful that I managed to come on the show, because I know the show is very, very popular, watched by many, many people. Our appeal right now, dear viewers, is that let's go in together and let's grab Petauke Central Constituency. It's doable. At the moment, we are around 55, 60%, but we can go higher. So what we need to do right now, we are going into what we call polling station camps to intensify the door-to-door campaigns. So these people that are manning the polling stations need support in terms of their upkeep at these camps. So that's what we need at the moment. Otherwise, the momentum has been there. We've been to all the villages, we've been to all the polling stations, and people are ready. They are ready for change. They are welcoming us. They've welcomed us, but now we need to intensify the door-to-door message within the next 6 days. So what we need is support for these camps in terms of feeding. And you know, I have got 76 polling stations, 76, and that's quite a number. Yeah.
So you have 76 polling stations, and you need to feed the people in these polling stations. Now, we normally appeal, Mr. Piri, to our viewers.
Yes.
For those who want to help, and we always ask them to contact you directly, not through TV Bakwetu. I've seen a lot of comments here from America, people like Clara Miambo-Chanda. She's from Rwanda, but she's in America. I've got a lot of viewers from all over the world, a lot of viewers from Zambia. How should they contact you? And by law, we are supposed to get authority from you. Are you happy for us to share your WhatsApp number?
Oh yes, I'm happy to share my number, Norman.
Go on, sir. Can you give that number to us?
Yes, my number is +260.
Yeah.
9633.
Yeah.
78874.
Yeah. So I will repeat that number for you.
Have you got it? Have you got it?
Yeah. The number which I have, viewers, is +260.
Can I repeat it?
Let me read it, Mr. Piri. Can you just confirm it? It's 0266. I mean, it's +260.
Yes.
9633.
Yes.
78874.
Exactly. That's my line.
So our viewers, Mr. Piri, Samson Piri, the candidate for Petauke Central, can be reached on this number, +260 9633 78874. Please, he has got 70 polling stations. He has a lot of people to feed. 76. And I know Petauke very well. It's a very big constituency. It is Petauke urban and rural areas. So he will need support. Mr. Piri is an experienced teacher, and he would make a fantastic MP. And you know, I tried my best to make sure that you were selected for Petauke Central, sir. And I just wish you all the best. So to our viewers, if you want to help Piri, Askuruwanga Piri, please phone him now. $100, $200, 100 kwacha, a goat if you're in Petauke, a bag of meal. You're not very near my farm. I would have said go to the farm and get 10 bags of meal at school. But I can send you some meal. So if you want to top his talk time, top him Mock Zambia, because you always complain, say you have no money. Give him 100 kwacha, 200 kwacha top time. Go buy him a bag of mini meal. So our viewers, if Mr. Musha will put that number so that we can phone him directly and send him the money. If you are in the diaspora, could it be an excuse? Because you can send money by remit, you can send money by Western Union. There are a lot of ways of sending money, so there's no excuse. So I would appeal to all our supporters in the diaspora and in Zambia, even those in Botswana. We have a lot of teachers in Botswana who are supporting UPND. Please support Mr. Piri. Mr. Piri, you have heard for yourselves, straight man, straight speaking, he knows what he's talking about, good man, and he would give you all the support. So what are your last words, Askud?
Thank you so much, Norman. My last words to everybody, especially the viewers, please, let's put our hands together. We shall remember you, and the people of Petauke Central will be very, very grateful that you have given your assistance to make sure that we grab or we flip Petauke Central constituency. You know, it's called the bedroom of PF, but it's no longer the bedroom in the minds of the people in Petauke. They've really, really changed. They want to see change in Petauke. So, yes, we welcome your assistance. As much as you can, please do what you can so that together we can start to develop Petauke Central. Thank you so much to Norman for giving me the opportunity. And thank you, Jerome, always insightful in your contributions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Askuru. We wish you all the best. 9 days to go, and I can promise you one thing: when we win next week, I'll come and help you to make sure that we revive Petauke Cooperative Union, because that cooperative was the oldest cooperative in Zambia and in the Eastern Province. We will have to revive it so that we can export groundnuts to Europe again. We can also help you to export to Malawi, to export to Mozambique. Because you are very, very close to Mozambique. So, Askuru, Ziko Mogwambili for coming. I know it's not easy in Petauke. The line was not bad. Good the other day. We also postponed your interview because of other things yesterday, because of Garing Combo. But thank you so much, and we wish you all the best. Ziko Mogwambili Askuru.
Natembeja Askuru.
Ziko. Well, you can stay on at school and hold on and listen to what we are going to say. Now, our viewers, Munsha is very, very busy. You know, this man is a lawyer, so he has to do his work. In Canada, where he is I think it's past 1 or past 2, so he has to continue with his work. So Jerome and I will continue the program. I just wanted to apologize. I don't know what is happening to Haimbe. Mulambo Haimbe, the MP for Lusaka Central. He had confirmed that he was coming on tonight, but it looks like he's not coming on. So I'm not sure what the problem is. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next issue. The next issue is about the cargo. The cargo which came with the ballot boxes. Jeremy, what is the latest from Lusaka?
Yeah, okay. The latest from here is that there is some company that is claiming that they are the owners of the cargo. But the issue which is there is, or the problem that I also have is that plane which the cargo found itself, it was known, and the Emirates also knew that this plane has been booked for specific task, and the Electoral Commission of Zambia paid a lot of money. So instead, those people are claiming they should not be going to claim for that cargo. I think ECZ should grab that cargo, and if it's possible, they need to burn those phones and other things that they found in there, so that at least we can kill this speculation from the members of the public that maybe those they have whatever things which people may think of. I think that's the best. Then the plane should find a way and a means of compensating the person who's the owner of that cargo, because all planes, they have insurance. And in this situation, this is the time the insurance needs to come in, because you cannot make such a mistake where you know that this plane is carrying sensitive government material that has attracted a lot of attention, and the government has paid a lot of money to transport these ballot papers to Zambia. So it is very wrong for that institution, or including the Emirates itself, to put that cargo together with the ballot papers. And that institution that is claiming that they are the owners, I think better not they do that, because they are going to end up frustrate as many Zambian people as possible, because there are a lot of questions that have come with the cargo.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jeremy. Jeremy, there is a lot of suspicion over this cargo. As you are saying, a company is claiming, a clearing agent was claiming yesterday that they ordered these phones from Hong Kong. And the question is, how did they end up on a chartered plane with ballot boxes? And ECZ also is saying they don't know anything about these things. They don't know how they came. I think the stand from the UPND is that they have to be put aside and burnt. Because if ECZ claims they don't know anything, it's very easy for anybody to come up and fake up and say these things belong to us. Do you remember the story about the 48 houses, Jeremy, and our viewers? There were so many people coming, people from Tanzania coming in, and people from everywhere saying that those are my houses. So it's very, very suspicious that during election time, that phones, high-range phones, can be coming in at the same time. People become very, very suspicious. And the story is, these phones were imported by the PF. And the PF has been caught. That's why they're afraid, but they would rather tell that is another company. And we have asked Mr. Chanda, yesterday we asked Mr. Chanda to tell us the story. He has not said anything. So I think UPND would take some legal action to make sure, because the more we delay with this cargo, the more it will disappear. And when it disappears, we don't know where it will end up, Jeremy and our viewers. So we have 9 days to go before elections, and we still have this cargo, which we don't know who ordered it and what the purpose was for. But there are a lot of phones there, there are a lot of other things. So I really don't understand how we can end up in a situation like this. Jeremy.
Yeah. General, you see where the problem is. We don't know what type of phones, though I'm hearing that these are satellite phones that they get not the network which we receive, they receive special kind of network. And moreover, we know very well that once we vote, there will be an issue of transmission of the results. And once we transmit the results, then those results, they'll be projected actually on the totaling center to say this is what's happening. Now we have these electronic devices that have come, and where we are going electronic way in terms of voting. And moreover, there is also an advert that ECZ is running around to say we are going to use the biometric kind of voting also in places where there will be huge turnout. So all these things, they are talking about electronic and all that. So it is it is unfortunate that the cargo finds itself in the midst of this, but the best thing that ECZ can do is to ban those cargo in the presence of all the partners and in the presence of all the stakeholders, so that we close this chapter. Then let these companies start following up the matter with the plane. Why did they make such a decision to put their commodity together with the very sensitive commodity that is going to the government of the Republic of Zambia? So the only way out to this is not about the owners getting this, but it's the matter of burning these items that came with the ballot papers. Then let the owners of that start getting now the refund from the insurance or from the plane, so that they can sort them out. We cannot allow the cargo to be given to Mr. Chanda, whether it's a UPND, whether it's a PF, is a NDC, is a NAREP, is a whatever, a CADA, or is a non-partisan. Unfortunately, we cannot risk for such kind in this year's elections.
Well, thanks, Jeremy. I think the spokesperson of the UPND made it very, very clear today that the legal team is taking that issue and they will decide what they need to do. And let's move on to the issue of violence and the army. What is the situation in Rwanda before I bring in Bapiri? Because I would like to find out whether it's got the soldiers from Gonda barracks, whether they are with you, Mr. Piri. What is the situation in Rwanda? Jeremy?
No, in Rwanda we are very much peaceful, and we don't have the soldiers as compared to the way we are hearing from other places. Unless we start having some violence in Rwanda. Currently, we are very much peaceful, and we have not recorded any form of violence. Unless the PF, we know very well PF is a violent party. We hope the PF, they should not start the violence, but they should just also continue to be in a peaceful way. You see, when PF senses defeat, they want to use way and means to start causing violence. But we hope they will not cause the violence in Rwanda, so that we provoke the situation to have the soldiers. Though I would love the army to be with us, to come and also witness what is happening. But again, it's not necessary. We don't have them yet, General.
Okay. In Lusaka, we're getting reports, viewers, that in the morning, the PF cadres wanted to go and attack the youth camp in Lusaka. The police had to move in quickly to try and stop them. And the UPND team also had to mobilize themselves to try and defend their camp. But there was no violence which was reported today, major violence, except 2 days ago when they, in Kanyama, destroyed the UPND camp completely. And there's not been any major reports of any violence in Lusaka. And we know that the soldiers are on the streets, and we also know that some of the soldiers are being mobilized from some of the units to go to Southern Province and Western Province. When they will move, we don't know, but we know that, for instance, the 3rd Battalion, some of them will be going to Southern Province. Now, Mr. Piri, Petauke, where you are, have my boys from Gonda barracks come to protect you?
Yes. Well, let me say I'm not very I do not have full information about the soldiers and where they are and so on. But all I can say is that on Sunday night, I drove to Lusaka, all right? And on the way, I met with truckloads of army personnel, you know, transport vehicles, you know, those transport vehicles that the army uses to transport their people. So there are quite a number of them going towards Nyimba, Petauke, and so on. So I don't know where they are, whether they were just on normal operations, whether they were going to each of the districts in Eastern Province. But so far, I haven't seen any visibility of soldiers on the streets in Petauke.
Is it? I saw when HH passed through Petauke, yes, he was not allowed to come into Petauke Boma, because to our viewers, Petauke, yes, is off the road from the main Great East Road. Exactly. So what happened on that day, Mr. Piri?
Yes, you see, we got the information, and we knew that the president was going to pass through Petauke, and us as residents of Petauke, we wanted him to come to the Boma, all right, because that's where we are. That's where the majority of the people in Petauke are. and we wanted him to come and maybe address us at a certain point within the Boma. But then when the convoy came in, we decided that because the Petauke turnoff, the junction, is sort of a volatile place because of some notorious PF cadres. They would like to cause confusion there. So we decided we were going to meet the president a kilometer or so away from Petauke towards Kawere. You know Kawere. There's a valley, a small valley there. So that's where we went, and we gathered there. There was a big crowd, and then we welcomed him there on the road, and then we started escorting the convoy coming towards the turnoff. But then the police vehicles, one of the police vehicles, when we reached Petauke, they actually blocked the way to the Boma, you know, the junction there. They made sure that we don't turn to Petauke Boma. All right. And then these notorious PF cadres, they came and stood on the way of the president's convoy, which was very, very unruly. We don't expect anybody to block anybody in Zambia, let alone our president. So what happened was the police had to discharge tear gas, and that's how they discharged.
What was that tear gas meant for the PF cadres or meant for you, the UPND members?
Well, you see what happened then was, initially it was meant for the PF cadres so they could clear the way for the presidential motorcade to proceed, right? But then we had our people on the sides of the road who wanted to see the president and greet him and so on. So they were also dispersed. It was a plan, I think, by the police to make sure that people do not come close to the president and that he does not greet the people. So that's what happened. And by the way, Norman, this other presidential candidate, JJ Banda,
yeah,
that day, what he did was, early in the morning, he sent his trucks. You know, he's got some trucks. He sent his trucks to all villages around Petauke in all directions to ferry people all the way from there to Petauke so that they could block the way. They actually blocked the way to the Boma. Okay, so there was a crowd of people, but apparently those people didn't know what their mission was until they were in the Boma, and then they were just told to stand on the road, and the vehicles were parked on the road.
Wow.
So basically, that's what happened.
Yeah, in short, there is no serious violence.
Well, I wouldn't say serious violence. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much.
Apparently, they are charged. Yeah.
Go ahead.
They are charged. They are charged. There have been a few incidents. Like the other day, one of our supporters had their house burnt down in one of the wards, in Koviane ward. They simply torched his house. And then there was another incident on the Mumbi Road. They just found one of our members dressed in a UPND t-shirt. Unfortunately, it's one of the senior PF officials in Petauke who stopped and then chased this boy and then took his t-shirt and actually took the boy and threw him in a river, in water,
Wow.
in the water. Yeah.
Wow.
So a few incidents like that, but yeah, you're right, no serious violence so far.
Okay, I just hope and pray that it continues like that, and that's peaceful during the voting on Thursday, that we don't continue to have serious incidences. And our viewers, I think you have seen that the major incidences are in Lusaka, Kanyama. Why?
Yes.
Because those, and Matero, because those are the biggest constituencies we have in the country with the big numbers. And I think also a bit of the north. Copperbelt is strange. Copperbelt is very, very quiet. And a bit of the north. And north, because that's the bedroom, Yaba Shitasira, so he wants to protect it. So there's been a few incidences in Kasama, a few incidences in Nakande, Mpulungu. But we hear Mpulungu, Mr. Sikazwe, he has no chance at all. So Freedom Sikazwe, he can just as well prepare to be the Chola boy for Mr. Lungu after next week, but he has no chance. So before we go, anything else, Jeremy, we have from the Copperbelt? Hi, Jeremy.
No, General, I think yes, General, I think new development will start coming through tomorrow since the president is already here. But there is a promise for the people at Mupani to start receiving their salaries or whatever their money that they are supposed to be given this Friday. So we are monitoring that development and we hope to see what is going to happen. It's good for the people to get that money and let the people get the money, but people knows very well what they need to do, because you cannot make me starve for 5 years, then you come and you give me my money because you want a vote from me. That's what the people actually are saying, to say you are starving me, you starved me. You made me take drugs that are dangerous to me, that are counterfeit, drugs that are rotten. You made them for me to consume. Well, my stomach had no food. Then today you want to fatten me because you want me to go and give you a vote next week. Then no problem. Give me the money. I'll get the money and I'll choose the money. But definitely voting, I'll go vote for UPND. And this is what is happening to most of the people. And that's the message which we are telling. And people now, they are saying to say voting for UPND is about voting for themselves. That's what they are saying. We want to vote for ourselves by voting Akainde Ichidem, not by us to go vote for PF. No. So it's all very much peaceful on the Copperbelt unless other people start, but PF is outnumbered on the Copperbelt and it will be chaos if they may start the violence. And they have done well also to remain in a peaceful way. But let's wait and see what's going to happen. And we are praying, as we are praying that we continue having the peace that we are still enjoying on the Copperbelt. I think that's all, General. I have to say.
Thank you so much. To our viewers, I think this evening, Mr. Akainde arrived in Mbala, but he's been stopped all over us. Isoka, Nakande, tear gas, but we heard from Mobita now tonight that they are still proceeding to Mbala, and I'm sure they've arrived in Mbala. Where it's going tomorrow, we don't know. And we've decided that they've decided not to tell us where it's going. You just hear where that is somewhere. I think it's very, very clear. They have continued to refuse him to fly. Mr. Lungu is in the Copperbelt, and the UPND vice president is still in the north. And it looks like very few people are concentrating on the Copperbelt, because Copperbelt is very, very quiet. It's very, very strange for the Copperbelt to be so quiet only a week before elections. And we've heard from our candidate in the Petauke Central, our school, Samson Piri, that Petauke is quiet. It's a fight between UPND and JJ. From the information we have, is Doris Leah is out. But it's the independent versus Mr. Piri, who's smart, who knows what he's talking about, and you've heard him. We just want you people to help him tonight. Starting from tonight, tomorrow, help Mr. Piri to get the seat in Petauke. Now, before we close our broadcast tonight, we always tell our viewers what to do next week. Please, please, all our viewers, we are asking you to go early to vote. Be at the polling station as early as you can, because we know the plan of PF. They want to go vote first and then stop you voting by 9 o'clock. They want to make a lot of chaos so that you don't go and vote. Remember, our viewers, the army is not there to harass you. They will not harass you. I served in that army. They are professional. They will not stop you. The people who want to stop you from voting are the PF and probably some police, not the army. So go early, take your voter's card, take your NRC card, no UPND regalia, no PF regalia, no DP regalia, because it's illegal to take your regalia. You should go in your normal clothes. Go in groups. Don't go one by one. Go in groups of 10, 15, 20, 30. We want a high turnout. Why 20, 30, 10 people? Because we want you to protect yourselves. When you get into the polling station, They will allow you in. They will check your voter's card. They will check your registration card. They might check your fingers, I'm not sure. Then they will give you my voter's card. They will give you 4 voters' card, ballot papers. 1 for the president, 2 for Mr. Piri, 3 for the councillor, for the ward council chairman or the mayor, 4 for your ward chairman or for your ward, for your councillor in your ward. So what you need to do is that when you get these 4 ballot papers, make sure that they've got a chidindo, they've got a stamp on the back. Because we are told that PF, working with ECZ, have recruited some civil servants to try and make sure that they don't put stamps there, so that these ballot papers are disqualified. So please, please, please tell all your relatives, and if you're going to vote, before you vote, make sure that there's a stamp behind all the 4. When you go, you look at the ballot paper, there will be no colors. There will be no red, blue, whatever colors. There will be symbols there. And the UPND symbol, because with us, we are not even apologizing that we are supporting HH and the UPND candidates to change this government by Thursday next week. Mark an X on the right-hand side box after the hand. Kwanja, X. Do not make a mistake. In the Northern Province, we're told that our PF are now telling the people to say, no, you must go and put a tick on HH and put an X, Kuli Edgar Chagwalung. No, put an X on HH Pakwanja. Nothing else for Northern Province. They should not lie to you. Then when you're finished doing that, take your ballot boxes. I think there'll be 4 boxes. Take them there. Do not hand them over to the polling officers. Put them in the box yourself. Make sure that they put the box. You put the ballot boxes, the papers. They will thumb you. I think the right thumb with some ink. When you've done that, go out and either eat your food and stand 100 meters away and protect your vote. We hear PF want to tell the police to threaten people. The law says you can stand outside the polling station as long as you're 100 meters away from the polling station. Why? We want you to observe and check and make sure that nobody brings in anything else in that polling station until they count. When they count, there will be witnesses there, polling agents. They will use a G20, which they should sign, and it will be put outside. Those will be the results for your polling station wherever you are. So please, please, please educate all our people, because we want a high turnout. The only way which can stop PF and Edgar Chagwalungu playing his tricks is high turnout. The high turnout we had in 1991, that's the right turnout which we want. And from our information, our viewers, Mr. Lungu has been told by the OP that Guamana, it's gone, it's finished. That's why you are seeing him flying all over the show. He doesn't even know where he's going. He just wakes up in the morning and says, pilot, head north, head west. He's even inspecting my bus stop. He's even inspecting toilets wherever he goes. Anything which is new, he is inspecting. So I would like to say 9 days to go. Let's be peaceful. Let's keep peace. Because if we are not peaceful, Mr. Lungu might get an excuse of using the police against our people, or using these cadres like Kalimashi and all these people to kill our people. We don't want our people dead. Anything else you want to add, Jeremy, before we say goodbye to our viewers tonight? Because Musha is busy.
Yeah, no, I think, General, I've said it all myself, and let's all protect our votes, and let's all of us go vote in huge numbers like you have emphasized. I think that's all, General, I have to say.
Okay, thank you so much. Would like your viewers to say thank you so much for tonight. Please remember to call Mr. Piri and give him some money and give him all the help you need. And on behalf of Munsha and on behalf of Jeremy in Luansha, I would like to say good night and thank you for watching us tonight. We apologize sincerely for Mr. Haimbe. We don't know what happened. Tomorrow, we want to bring 2 more candidates, I think from the north this time. And probably we might bring in somebody from the Copperbelt, Jerome, am I right? Luansha. I think we might be bringing some people from Luansha. Otherwise, from us in Scotland and my colleague Jeremy in Luansha and the busy lawyer in Canada, we are saying good night and hope to see you tomorrow. Good night from Scotland.